Welcome back. Tonight we're talking about what's the future of the FM diversion project. As many of you may know, the conference committee started today about the Water Commission bill, i.e. the Al Carlson amendments about the funding for the FM diversion project. With us tonight in studio, MNDAC Upstream Coalition member Craig Hertsgaard. Craig, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Also via the phone in Bismarck, Cass County Commissioner Mr. Darrell Vanyo. To Mr. Vanyo, thanks for joining us as well. I want to jump right in here. Last week, Senator George Sinner was on News and Views. He had this to say about the FM diversion project.
Let me say one more thing about this. You know, I feel very, very bad about the people who will lose their farmland, who will lose farmland to the track of the diversion. But the staging area will really be minorly affected, and those people will be compensated. I think that what the actual diversion does is allow water to leave their land quicker, and it will get drier quicker on major flood events. I think it actually is a benefit to those people, except for those people who actually lose their land for the track of the diversion.
Commissioner Vanyo, I'm going to start with you. Is what Senator Sinner just said there true and accurate, yes or no?
Yes and no would be my response.
What do you mean specifically?
Well, he's correct in his statement about the footprint of the diversion. Obviously, it does affect ag land. He spoke about the staging area as being minor. I guess I wouldn't categorize it as minor.
Mr. Hertsgaard, you're a farmer outside of Kindred. Your thoughts on what Senator Sinner said?
I am. Springtime is very critical to us. This year we're going to be late. And we're very anxious about that as farmers because getting in the field dictates how good our yield is. We know that the Army Corps policies are that we cannot construct a project that improves drainage. So right off the bat, we know it's not going to improve drainage. We know that it's going to delay at least a week and probably 10 days or longer to put this water on. I guess I'm really surprised that and when I say it's Junior, not George, who was a governor, it's Junior Sinner, who's a senator, being involved in the ag industry would make that statement. But that's typical of promotion for the diversion project and this staging area that has such a negative impact on 50,000 acres.
And Mr. Vanyo, I want to go back to you again. I hear from a lot of people, especially inside the city, that this staging area isn't nearly as impactful, meaning that the amount of water that's going to be staged here is not as deep as people think and or as vast or wide. Is that true?
The water in a 100-year event or more is going to be significant. There's no other way around that. But we're speaking about 1% chance of those events happening, and then of course, depending upon how far you are away from this, it may have minimal effect if you're further away. And let me just speak a little bit to something that Mr. Hertsgaard indicated. The length of time in a 100-year event is 5.5 days. And I understand what he's saying about, in some cases that pushes the limits. That's where the ag mitigation and the policy that will be set forth will take that into consideration in terms of making sure that farmers are not penalized for those situations. Another thing that there's a misunderstanding of, and this is maybe where Senator Sinner's comments came from, the staging area does not necessarily have drainage benefits in a significant flood. It certainly could in lesser floods because you've got another channel to take the water. So there's no 100% right or wrong to this. The fact is that if you have lesser events, the farmers are going to benefit from it. If you have major events, they won't.
Commissioner Vanyo, I want to get you both to comment as well. I want to start with you. You just mentioned, hey, Chris, there's a 1% chance of this event happening. My question for you is this. 1% chance of this happening, is a $2 billion investment in a diversion then a good investment for something that has a 1% chance of happening?
Well, what you've had experience now in 4 floods in 5 years, we're talking about a 50-year event that was a 2009 event. So we're facing this situation where we could lose anything over a 50-year event. The 50-year event that was in 2009 was very close call for Fargo. So, and if you lose the event, couple billion. There's numbers that go all the way up to $10 billion in terms of the devastation. So that's what you're trying to protect.
For both of you here, again, the conference committee started today. Mr. Hertsgaard, I want to start with you. At the end of the day, I know you've been around this for quite some time. What is this bill going to look like? Is it going to come out of conference committee where they're going to say, hey, it just needs to be authorized, not fully funded? What's your gut tell you?
We hope there's some changes to the threshold in terms of the federal funding. One of the provisions that's put in, the MNDAC group, we went out to Bismarck and we said, let's not put the state on the hook for a project that may not be funded by the federal government ever. And we had asked for an amendment that would require Congress to appropriate money to fully fund the thing before North Dakota got on the hook. We never asked that the federal government put the entire $850 million in a bank account. We said, let's see a plan to put the money in. In the subsequent language that was added later, they put in that it requires some federal construction money. We're hoping that they will put some minimums in there that demonstrates the federal government's willingness to participate in the project.
So you're saying if the amendment said, hey, as long as the thing is partially funded, which could mean even $100, then you're okay
Correct.
with saying, okay, let's greenlight this thing?
I'm saying that we need a higher threshold than $100. I'm saying that we need to see a commitment from Congress to say we're going to be a partner with North Dakota and Fargo, because we're pretty sure Minnesota's not going to be a partner.
But you and I both know they're not going to show any sort of bigger commitment unless the state says, yeah, we're behind this thing 100%. We're coming out up on time, but thank you for being here. We'll have you back on in the future. Mr. Vanyo, thank you so much as well. We know you're going to these conference committees. You're going to meet with Al Carlson today. Al Carlson will be on the show tomorrow. We'll find out how this meeting went and what it means for this diversion project in of itself. Stay close. A lot of people are asking about, hey, are we going to buy what the National Weather Service is selling about these numbers for this year's flood? Coming up next, our head meteorologist, Hutch Johnson, is going to break down some models and say, hey, these numbers are accurate or it's a bunch of hogwash. Stay close, and as always, go to our website, 630pov.com.